My best friend Isabelle and I were unexpectedly transported to a post-apocalyptic world where women were incredibly scarce. Here, the men gave us the best food and protected us with all their might. Slowly, Isabelle grew reluctant to return to our original world. This, she'd say, is paradise, but watching the men who constantly guarded us, I felt a chilling fear instead. I knew there was no such thing as kindness without reason. The primal instinct of males above all else is reproduction. By the time I realized this, the security officers had already silently entered the quarters Isabelle and I shared. There were 8 of them, dressed in black uniforms. They stood in the dim light, young, lethal, and cold. They stood in silence for a moment, then 2 of them headed towards Isabelle's room and mine, respectively. I nervously pretended to be asleep, hoping they were just on a routine patrol, but a nagging feeling told me they were here for Isabelle and me to get pregnant. This morning, during my medical examination, I'd overheard the doctors talking. Their physical conditions are exceptional. The base hasn't seen bodies this good in 20 years. We've also screened 8 men with high genetic compatibility. If all goes well, there will be new lives this time next year. Heaven, after all, has finally shown us mercy. There were a few other women undergoing examinations with me that day, so I didn't immediately realize they were talking about Isabelle and me. After the checkup, we were sent to this high tower, the only place in the base with a view of the outside world. On the table, besides our daily beef, milk, and bread, there were 2 rare apples. These were luxuries reserved for the base's upper echelons. Commoners struggled to survive on meager grains like corn and sweet potatoes. Isabelle and I, though classified as commoners after our arrival, frequently received these precious foods. I knew the base strictly enforced its post-apocalyptic distribution system. You got what you put in. If we received something precious, we would surely have to give something precious in return. Isabelle and I had nothing, only our bodies. Isabelle, as usual, picked up her milk, standing by the window, gazing at the vast, desolate landscape outside. She stood in the sunlight, her skin fair, gentle, and lovely, as pure as an angel. I, meanwhile, stared at the food, my stomach churning with unease. Isabelle looked at me, puzzled. What's wrong? I told her what the doctors had said. This place is too strange. We need to find a way back to our original world fast. She fell silent. After a long moment, she softly asked, Chloe, isn't this place good? I was baffled. What was good about it? The apocalypse had lasted for a century. The ecology was imbalanced, the climate extreme, food was scarce, and the walking dead roamed everywhere. This place was a living hell. But she continued, here, we don't worry about food or clothes. We don't worry about finding work. No mortgages to pay. No one bullies us. Everyone cares for us and looks after us. For me, this place is paradise. I shook my head. There's no kindness without a root or a price. Women are scarce here. Our price might be our bodies, our fertility. Isabelle gathered her windblown hair. But Chloe, in our old world, we still had to dedicate our bodies and fertility, didn't we? The man entered my room and stopped at the foot of my bed. I knew him. His name was Caleb, son of the former base commander, the most cold-blooded and ruthless security officer. Rumor had it he'd personally killed his parents when he was just 10. The first time I saw him, I was struck by his appearance, but the next second, his gun was aimed straight at my head. Isabelle and I had been transported here while at an amusement park. The ground had suddenly caved in and we'd fallen. I was still wearing gray-blue contact lenses then. Gray-blue eyes were the mark of the infected. Caleb had mistaken me for one. Though the misunderstanding was later cleared, he had always loathed me. He hated that I, a human, would adorn my eyes with the color of the infected. Yet, the base had assigned him to oversee Isabelle's and my safety. He was an absolute enforcer. Even with his disgust, he had to follow orders, but I didn't like him either. Many people at the base disliked him. They said the security officers were the lapdogs of the elite, and Caleb was the most loyal and vicious among them. Caleb stood still by my bed. I heard the metallic buckle of his belt unfasten. I'd guessed right. He was indeed here to carry out the breeding assignment. I stopped pretending to sleep, sat up, and pressed a small knife I'd prepared against my throat, speaking each word